My audio should be working. Lordy. Gotta have fun with this. For all those people who catch the replay, how many of you are there? How many of you are there really? Anybody watch these things? Anybody watch these things? Lordy. Gotta have fun with this. How we doing? Those of you catching me in other places, sometimes I just go live on my phone, and my phone I have to share, and so you might not catch these live unless you're happening to follow me on my own personal page. How's everybody doing this week? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How is everyone doing? How old are you? Where you live? I did this a few weeks ago, and I was on a Zoom call, and everybody instantly was typing their age. I said, man, I ask a million questions and nobody ever says anything, but I ask your age and you're like all typing. They're like, we answer what we're certain about. I'm glad you know your age. I don't even know my age. Danny Schneibel, the man, the myth, the legend. Title. What is my title today? What is my title? Morning Mind Tune-Up. I'm almost there. Are you? How to change other people. Almost there. How to change other people. How many of you, I've been getting this message, and I've been recognizing this in myself. So this guy that I've known for a little while now, he posted something, and he got a big collaboration with a big person in an industry. And I said, congrats, bro. Patience and persistence pays off. And I said, thanks, buddy. It's a big step. Or he said, hey, thanks, buddy. It's a big step for me, 100%. Slowly getting there. Slowly getting there. So I questioned that because I've been questioning this in myself, and some of you may have heard me talk about this. But I want to ask you the question. Have you found yourself ever saying something like, I'm almost there, I'm slowly getting there, I'm getting there, been at this a little while, I'm almost there. And what I said was, where is there? I've been asking people that. It's just a conversation starter. Now, some people know what a there is for them. They know what it means. Now, he said some stuff which I could see. He's still at his job right now. So he doesn't want to be at that job. So this almost quitting the job. But this other stuff, I want to create stuff I'm proud of. So what I haven't asked yet, well, you're not proud of what you're currently creating. Right? He says, my wife always tells me, you're never celebrating, you're never satisfied. Now, for some people, that works. That's how they're driven in their life. So there's a chip on their shoulders. But what I've learned in life is that also it causes a lot of distress for those around us and in ourselves. And at least in my observation in the last number of years of observing myself and others, this is where disease happens, divorce happens, quitting businesses happen, giving up happens, a lot happens. Because if you never celebrate, if you never slow down, if there's always this chip, depending on how you're currently wired and how driven you really are, then this dissatisfaction can eventually lead to giving up, to quitting, to stopping. Because if you never make it anywhere, or you don't know where you're going, I always bring up not all those who wonder are lost. It's on the back of a lot of Jeep Wranglers. You know why? Because people who drive Jeep Wranglers, they might wander around, and the reality is they're not frustrated in their wandering. Because they're wandering intentionally, and they know that they are wandering. Now, eventually they may reach a stage in their life where they no longer wish to wander. But if you do it more with an awareness, then you can do something about it. But if you know where you're at right now, but you say you're going somewhere, but you don't know where you're going, then you can't be frustrated for not getting somewhere, but yet we are. Now, sometimes deep down we know where this place is, but we never speak that. I'm just almost there. I'm getting there. And this is no attack on this person. Just stirred things up. It's been one of a handful of conversations that I've been having with people just in the last 24 to 48 hours. Can anybody relate? Am I talking to anybody out there today on the old Facebook that can relate to this language and thinking of like, I'm almost there, I'm almost there? How long have you been saying you're almost somewhere? That I'm getting there? How long has that been a practice in your life? And then the other title of this is How to Change Other People. Well, it kind of ties into the beginning thing here. What I realize is we can be frustrated with other people. We can be frustrated with them needing to do certain things, wanting them to do certain things. But what I've realized is that there's a popping sound that always is there. And click to view. Well, god dang, when you look at that, there's a place for some comments as well. I didn't even know that was there. And so what I found is that if we don't have awareness around what is really causing us frustration, so we can't do anything about it. And a lot of it starts with ourselves. So how do we change other people? Well, we can't, and we don't, except for the fact that we can change ourselves. And when we change ourselves, those around us tend to change, for better, for worse, for good, or for bad, depending on your interpretation, which was something that I was just talking to somebody that I was working with here recently. Realize this, that problems are not really problems. It's not always the thing that is the problem, because for you, it may be a problem in the form of what can be considered a nuisance, a negative, a bad thing. But that thing in and of itself is not a problem for everyone, because some people have already overcome that thing. And so therefore it is no longer a challenge. It is no longer a problem. You, my friend, have overcome many a thing that is no longer a problem, right? But once was. So you can continue to look at life as though you're going to solve some specific problem, and then no longer will there be any problems. No longer will there be any challenges. No longer will there be any negative or difficulties. When you get to this someday place in the future that you're almost to, that you don't know where it'll be or when it'll be, because you've already achieved certain things that you wanted, the things you have today that you're not satisfied with, that you're not happy with, are more than likely something that you wanted in the past that now has happened in the present. But because you've changed and evolved yourself, you no longer appreciate that thing, so you want something else, because our human nature is to grow. Our human nature is to evolve. Right? My wife, with her crafting business, designs different things every day. If she had to literally design the exact same thing, the exact same way, each and every single day, she would more than likely give up. I know that I have seen many people, and including myself, that if we're not growing, evolving, or changing, then we get bored and we give up or we quit. Now, some people have much longer thresholds to this than other people. And some people's thresholds are very short. But what I have found is awareness is everything. What I have found is that, can we identify where we're going? And if we're not, we shouldn't be frustrated with we're not almost there, because we'll almost never be there. I was frustrated for 10 years for my abilities not being recognized in the radio industry. I left 18 months ago to start my own brand, no longer mad, but determined to succeed. Then last week, when I wasn't expecting it, iHeart saw me working at a client they wanted and didn't have. Now they want a partnership meeting with me. This is home. So let's dissect this wonderful human's comment here. For 10 years, I was not recognized for my abilities within radio. So 18 months ago, I left to start my own brand. And now iHeartRadio is paying attention. Now, do you believe that it's just magical coincidence that now that they come and they pay attention? Or what my belief is, and in scenarios like this, is that it was not that you were not being recognized, that people did not see the value in you, and now magically they do. It's that you said, screw this, I'm done with this, enough is enough, and you ultimately began to see the value in yourself and said, I am worthy, I am enough, I am good, I am excellent. And so there was this, if they're not going to recognize it, I recognize it, so I'm going to do my own thing and carve my own path. Now there no longer was the need to be recognized by others, but you recognized yourself. By recognizing yourself, others recognized you. See, we can be delivering value all the time, every day, but if we don't ask for anything, we don't get anything. And it doesn't mean every time we ask we're going to get. But if we do not ask, so I was saying to somebody today, it's like, I've done hundreds and hundreds of these lives. Hundreds of them. I've done probably some version of something public, live, on the interwebs. I have done over 1,000 hours. Some private, some public, whatever. But there's been something where there's been more than one person listening. It's not just been a one-to-one interaction. It has been a one-to-many in some capacity of 2 or more people listening to me in a private setting somehow, a group setting. But I have done thousands of hours in a decade. Now, the majority of that through that decade, for my friend there that it says unknown right now, so I'm not quite sure your name, because I have multiple places going, so I'm able to see a stream of them, but it doesn't show all the names. But for that decade, the majority of that time I was doing something that I did like, but I was doing something that I didn't feel I was good at, that I didn't value myself, that I didn't ask for money because I didn't believe I was worthy of money. I didn't believe that I was good enough at what I was doing to receive money. So therefore I didn't ask for money. I could go down to the coffee shop in my prior past and talk at the coffee shop all day long. People are getting value. They're liking it. Right? I'm having fun. I'm delivering value. I'm fulfilled. But the reality is, if I don't believe in my value, if I don't believe in myself, and I never ask anyone to do anything, to pay for anything, I don't act as a professional, but rather I act as a hobbyist, right? Then nothing can happen there. No matter how much value I'm delivering to these people, no matter how much fun I might even be having, no matter how much they may be enjoying it, it doesn't mean I'll ever be recognized, nor will I ever be getting any value in return, i.e. in the form of potential money. Yet being on here in the last 3 weeks of doing these mind tune-ups, I've mentioned I'm a coach. This is what I do. This is my thing. And what I do outside of this is I do what I'm doing here and I go deeper with people. I do one-on-one work, right? And so rather than me just constantly for a year, or over the course of time that I've done this, because also at the beginning, you weren't any good anyways. You weren't amazing necessarily right out of the gate. You had to keep doing it. But there was a point in time you were really not good at it, and you were just excited to get the opportunity to do it, no matter whether it was paid or not paid. And then you got better and better at it. And then the gap grew between your abilities and now still being the person who is doing things for free and not getting paid. Now, some people all can transcend that, but some don't. And so they stay at a place where the gap continues to grow between the fact that they get better and better at what they're doing, but they're also now not getting paid for what they do. And so therefore there's frustration because you're no longer just excited to just do it until you shift inside. And you shift inside, which is, Jared, what you did. You shifted inside, and then the world shifted around you. And I've had this happen on a Facebook Live not too long ago that I was doing where I showed up different, and somebody I was looking up to that I was going to do coaching work with, that is a $150,000 coach, the ultimate coach. I had a shift on June 17th. Inside, my wife called me the mind mechanic. 2 days later, I did a Facebook Live. Steve Hardison, the ultimate coach, was on that live, and he called me out. He's like, man, if you want to work with a coach who understands presence, hire this guy. What happened? An internal shift happened. I believed in myself. I saw things in a different way than I'd ever seen them before. It was all clicking. So I wasn't this mediocre person who didn't believe in himself and thought, oh, woe is me. Nobody believes in me. Nobody values me. Nobody's worth of me. And then this guy shows up and says, hey, if you want to hire a guy who's incredible at what he does, hire this guy who doesn't believe in himself, doesn't know if he can get results, doesn't know if he can help people. Right? Over and over in my life and others, I have seen when we make an internal shift, when we show up different, our world shows up different. And so iHeart came to you now because you showed up different in the world. Because you believe in what you... Now, that doesn't mean that you're fully like, yes. But I guarantee that energetic shift of enough's enough, you're waiting for this recognition from other people. So you recognize yourself, you're paving your own path, and now there was a sick and tired of being sick and tired, and now things are happening. So rather than a thing like iHeart happening accidentally and feeling like it's a unicorn, which I had happen a lot in my life when big things happened, you realize it's not a big thing. It is a thing. It is something that happened. And so therefore, you can have more things like this happen. Because it just is what it is. It's just a thing. Because to somebody else, that thing you've got right now isn't a big thing. It's a little thing. To you, it's a big thing. So if we start making it just a thing and realize that no matter what happens with it, there's another, and there's another, and there's another, and there's another, and there's another opportunity. It is us making things so big and so impossible and so out of reach that we don't get things like that very often. And what I've seen in my life is the more I realize my reality is exactly because of how I thought, what I believed, what I focused on, et cetera, et cetera. So the more I curate that, then the more I'm able to have these things happen more often rather than huge gaps in between. Because I thought, oh my God, it's an impossibility. It's something that'll never happen again. Oh, that was rare. That was luck. Right? But this can become normal in your life. So the changing people, change yourself and your world will change. And realize that what I've found, like for my wife, how completely different of a human being she is. For a long time, I wanted her to be an entrepreneur. I was almost forcing it upon her. And then I realized that what that was sending her a signal is that I loved her I'm saying the one that I am now, unconditionally, but I wasn't. It sent a signal that I'll love you more. Even though that's not what I really intended, it's not what I really meant, that's not the interpretation that was given. It's if you're an entrepreneur, if you did that, I'd look at you differently. I'd love you more. I never said those words. But by this not allowing her to be her and who she was at that time and let her evolve to whatever she wants to evolve to, which is what happened. When I released the attachment, this is what Jared had happen. When he released the attachment, right? When he released the attachment, the neediness, when he recognized himself, the world started to show up different around him, where for a decade it didn't seem like. Nothing was changing, nothing was happening, because you were looking to the external world to validate you. You're looking to the external world to tell you you're good enough. I value you. Let me pay you a premium. Now that happens from time to time, but at times it's happening, and because we have so little self-worth and internal worth on the inside, what happens? Something's staring you right in the face, and you can't see it. Why? Because you don't believe it. I once had somebody in 2016, I used to do a lot of video work for him, and in 2016, we got together for lunch. He's telling me all these things. I'm waiting for the ball to drop for a video job. And he looks at me and says, I was really wanting to, if you're enjoying this, give it some likes, love. I always say that, you got to ask and you will receive, right? I'll see the little buttons pop up now. But if you're enjoying it, give some likes, love. Always share it with a friend. But what happened was this guy looked at me and he goes, I wanted the Gebs juice. And he goes, I don't have any video jobs or anything. I thought you could help, but I didn't know how. And at that point in time in 2016, I had somebody seeing the value in me. But I looked around. You talking to me? You talking to me? I can't help you. The way you think. This is a $15 to $20 million business, and this guy's looking at me for help, and I'm going, got the wrong guy. So he saw it in me. People probably saw it in you during that time, but you didn't see it in you. And so when things presented themselves to you, opportunities presented themselves to you, you sabotaged because your reality was, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I suck at this. Your reality was not being recognized. That was the story. Because in the beginning you weren't good, you weren't recognized, and that became the dialogue that was what created in your reality not being recognized. So everything, no matter recognized or not, showed you were not recognized because you did not recognize yourself. Now some are listening and going, whoa, holy smokes, what's this guy talking about? That's how I felt a couple years ago when hearing stuff like I'm like, whoa, okay, I don't know what this guy's talking about. I don't really get it. But I was listening and I was open. And the more I listened, the more I got it. And now I just can't help but share it. And so that's what this is all about, is to be on here, share with you these morning tune-ups. So if you're enjoying these, whether you're catching them in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, or 5 days from now, I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I've got some things I'm thinking about here, and I'd love to interact and get some just dialogue going with a handful of you. So leave some likes and love. Reach out to me. These are happening typically Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Some Wednesdays now. My Wednesday's a little bit filled up, so I do something else on Wednesdays. Yeah. I appreciate being on here, and I love having these breakthroughs in my own life and breakthroughs with those that I'm coaching and being able to share these with you in hopes that they provide some insight, some clarity, some aha moments to have you go, oh my God, it clicks. And that you can start changing and making shifts internally so that your world shows up different. And so you don't just get more of the same. And so you get clear. And when you say something like, I'm almost there, you start to realize, is almost there causing you frustration because you don't know where there is? Or have you achieved many theirs, but because as you grew, you changed the there, but you had no awareness around it? So I hope that's making sense for all of you today. Let me know. Open something up here real quick. See something? I don't have any water. Danny, I love this internal shift. You just realized you had muscle car engine under your hood. When you bought it, you were just a Volkswagen Beetle. I love that. And that's 100% correct. 100%. You just realized you had a muscle car engine under your hood when you thought you were just a Volkswagen Beetle limited to 55 miles per hour. Being the mind mechanic, I love that analogy. That's the truth, right? The tune-up, the shift inside is to help you realize you can go as fast as you want. And you can have a blast doing it. But the truth is, you are only what you believe you are. If you got the muscle car and you keep it in first gear because you don't think there's any other gears or you don't know how to shift it, then you're stuck in first gear going 55 miles an hour when that sucker can get up to 255. Another one, there's unknowns that pop up, so I'm not sure if that's Jared again or that's someone else. But unknown, because that's all I see in here because I'm streaming to like 10 places at once, but the chat comes up everywhere. Let me know your name there. Past 4 minutes, you've described my new start to the exact letter. Fair play, sir. Yeah. Well, it's because my obsession with myself and thus others over the last decade and definitely the last 24 months has allowed me to hear, and now I've made this my reality because of all the work I've done, is that I hear you hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. When I work with people one-on-one, you hit the nail on the head, right? All I've got to do is help bring awareness to things that are the almost there someday. I'm almost there, versus like some appreciation, some clarity, some awareness around where you're at, where you want to go, that you've gotten places, so that way you build up trust in yourself. If you don't trust yourself, you won't keep doing things, because if you automatically think that you're going to fail, it's not going to work out, and that's the proof in your life, then you won't take action. But if you believe in yourself, you trust yourself, Andy, rock and roll, my brother. If you trust yourself and believe in yourself that you're going to follow through on what you say you're going to do versus why do it? I already don't do it. But each day, each moment, you have the opportunity to be a new you. The you of 5 minutes ago was different, because there is a new expansion in your mind that you can choose to just go, oh, man, that sounds nice, and do nothing with it. Or you can choose to do something with it. No matter what, it's affected you. No matter what, you can't unsee, you can't unhear. But what you do with it is what will determine exactly what happens and how fast it happens. So, this I had happen. I'm going to show a video. This I'm about to show you I had happen with somebody in the time span of, I have no confidence. How do you have more energy? Like, how do you have more energy? I don't know what to do. To more energy, more confidence. Not in 10 years, but in like 20, 30 minutes. And now it's just kept going up from there. And so let me share this video with you.
In 10 years, I hope to have a very successful business with my video production stuff. As you can tell, I'm not the actor. Not at all. I like to be behind the camera in front of this, you know, putting stuff together. An amazing 2011. I started with nothing, and I've just surrounded myself with really good people. And you know, anything's possible. I'm kind of goofy and kind of awkward in front of the camera, because again, I like to be behind it.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Gavin here, and I'm super excited to be with you on Wednesday. We're going to do this video in 60 seconds or less. Thank you very much. Just kidding. All right, let's go at it. So I am fired up. Find what you're passionate about, but keep trying. Even in my trying to find what lights me up, I keep failing. I keep doing things. I keep trying so I can find that thing. That was some other guy named Michael Gavin. I love sharing that. I'm glad I have that on camera, and it's just a reminder to me. I used to say the words "anything is possible," and I realized it was conditional. How many of you believe in miracles or believe anything is possible, but it's conditional? You believe it's possible for them, that miracle's possible for them. They got lucky, but you're not lucky. Not everything is possible for you. I know for a fact that as a collective whole, lots of things will happen. Our interpretation of those things is what will dictate our happiness levels, our frustration, our fear, anxiety, worry, etc., etc. I'll leave you with this. There's things in people's lives that trigger them, and you're worried. What's going to happen? Is this going to work out? I don't know if I can do this. So one simple thing is I used to be very triggered if somebody's like flying up behind me, in their muscle car, Danny, flying up behind me, and they come up right on my ass, in the car while I'm driving down the road, that I used to get really, oh my God, and I'm worried, and all of a sudden, I'm all flustered, right? And now as a collective whole, I don't do that because I've been practicing, not trying, not thinking about it, not reading about it, but practicing that when that happens, I stay calm. And what I realized is that as a collective whole, that doesn't affect me anymore. Used to, doesn't anymore. Not ideal, but it doesn't have me, oh my God, speed up, slow down, swerve. No, because if I'm in control, I have a much better chance of a better outcome than what I'm triggered by. If I'm like, oh my God, and I do this and that, then what I'm worried has a higher probability of happening. If I all of a sudden get sporadic and crazy and, do things that I wouldn't have normally done versus if I stay in control and I stay calm, I can better deal with the situation. So how much is your reality dictated by the fact that each and every single day, as you're worried and anxious that you won't be able to pay your bills, you can't do this won't work out, that relationship, and all these things that they pseudo become, if you can look at your life for things you've done that, how many of them actually, some things never played out, but other things did. Exactly how you believed that they would. So can you start to change what you believe could and should and would happen so that you get a different outcome? So for me, that staying in control happens in a lot of areas of my life. That's what I'm practicing. To not get all tense and worried and scared and frustrated and fearful. Because typically, I have a better chance of whatever I'm fearful about happening if I stay in that state of mind. And I've played both parts very well. And so, there you go. What was I going to do here that was earlier? I had something that I pulled up at the beginning. Just some notebook with nothing inside of it but a spider. Look at that. Spider crawling on my hand. God dang. See that? No joke. The old me would have went, ah, my God. There you go. Sorry about that. I've got headphones on. Anyways, you can do this. I tend to write what I can do inside of this. The diary. I should hold this up every time. Old school. I don't know if it's forward or backwards. There you go, my friends. Michael Gavin, the Mind Mechanic. When I hear you, I can help you. Appreciate you being on here today. I hope that was helpful. Come tune back in again if you're somewhere other than my personal page. Every once in a while, I go live on just my phone, so it doesn't stream to these other places. Those are the most spontaneous ones that I do. So you can go to facebook.com/Gibbs86. You can see a picture of me and my wife, and I suggest you follow there because that's where everybody gets it. And if you want to dig in deeper to my story, if you're new here and you've enjoyed that, you can go there. And I don't know where this is showing up. So takemia.com or themindmechanic.net. So rock and roll, my friends. Appreciate you. Have a fantastic week. And if you enjoyed that, give it some likes and love. Let a friend know about it. Help them out. And have a phenomenal day. We'll talk soon. Take care.